The first scream shattered the quiet clink of coffee cups. For a split second, the small roadside diner froze, forks hovering mid-air, a child's laugh cut short, the bell above the door still swinging from the sudden entrance. A masked man stood in the doorway, gun shaking in his hand, voice cracking as he shouted for everyone to get down. Everyone panicked, everyone, except the waitress. Her name was Clara. She had been working the morning shift since sunrise, refilling mugs, memorizing orders, smiling even when her feet ached and her tips were thin. When the robber stormed in, she didn't scream. She didn't run. She didn't drop to the floor in terror. She slowly placed the coffee pot back on the warmer. From a corner booth, a silver-haired man watched her carefully. He wore a simple jacket, nothing flashy, but his eyes were sharp. He was a self-made millionaire, someone who had built an empire by reading people in moments of pressure, and what he saw in that waitress puzzled him. While customers trembled under tables, Clara stood still, hands open, breathing steady. "Ma'am," the robber yelled, pointing the gun at her, "the register, now." Clara met his eyes, not with defiance, not with fear, but with something unexpected, understanding. She walked slowly to the counter just as he demanded. But instead of yanking the cash drawer open in a panic, she paused. "Before I do that," she said gently, "are you hurt?" The diner went silent. The robber blinked. His grip tightened, then loosened. "What? You're shaking," Clara said softly. "I've seen that before. You don't look like someone who planned to hurt anyone today." From his booth, the millionaire felt his chest tighten. In decades of boardrooms and billion-dollar deals, he had never seen courage like this. Quiet, human, unarmed. The robber's breathing grew uneven. "Just open the register," he snapped, but the anger was fading, replaced by exhaustion. Clara did as he asked. She slid the money toward him, then did something no one expected. She placed a paper cup beside the cash. "Coffee," she said. "It's hot. You look like you haven't slept." The gun lowered, just an inch, but enough for everyone to notice. Sirens wailed faintly in the distance. The robber's shoulders slumped. Tears filled his eyes as he whispered, "I didn't want this. My mom. She's sick. They said I had 1 week." Clara nodded, listening as if time had slowed for them alone. "Then take the money," she said, "and leave before things get worse." He looked at her for a long moment, then set the gun down on the counter. When the police arrived, no one was hurt, no shots fired. No headlines about tragedy, but the story didn't end there. The man in the corner booth stayed behind after the diner emptied. He watched Clara wipe down tables like it was any other morning. When he approached, she smiled politely, unaware of who he was. "I've seen panic," he said, "and power, but what you did today, that was something else." She shrugged. He looked like someone who needed kindness more than fear. The millionaire returned a week later. Then again and again, months later, the world learned why. He funded a foundation in Clara's name, one focused on crisis de-escalation, mental health support, and second chances. He paid for her education. He ensured the robber's mother received care. When reporters asked why he did it, he answered simply, "I watched a woman with nothing but compassion stop a gun with humanity." Clara never called herself brave, but her calm changed lives, and her story reminds us that kindness still matters, especially when it's hardest to give.